Yes. Well, it'll take a minute for me to see if it's working. I think we're live, but I don't know. Who knows? I'm going to get started on this pen. I'm making a pink and Cholla. I have some bright pink rollerball pen. This was a request. I did not think of this combination, but whatever works, right? Let's see. Let me go to the overhead. So I'm turning a junior element in stainless steel. I'm going to do this pink and Cholla, and then probably I'm going to do CA finish on it, so why not? I'll try to see if I can watch the chat, so if anything comes up. Hey Mike, how's it going? So I'm just kind of goofing around here. The Turner's live will be at 3, so on Turner's TV, make sure you get ready for that. But in the meantime, we'll make this little pen here. Get my dust collector up here. Won't collect the chips super well, but it won't hurt either. We'll get the dust when we get to that point. Actually, it's not plugged in, so it won't. That's an easy fix. All right, hopefully that's not too loud. This is some pink confetti looking stuff here. I'll show you, this is the before, because you probably can't see the Cholla yet. So it just looks pink, but there's Cholla cactus in it. There, it's going in. There's a little fence on the dust collector to stop the big stuff so I can pull out whole wads of this resin. We should be getting close to the Cholla. Because it's wood resin, I'm going to CA finish this. And I did paint my tubes white because this pink, I wasn't sure if it would be transparent at all. And I certainly didn't want gold. I didn't want gold shining through from the brass. So I'm gonna turn this flatter because I want to get more wood exposed. So normally I might leave a little more proud in the middle, but I'm gonna try to actually come in a little bit. Let's see. Just take off a little more. We'll see how it looks. Cholla is so thin to make it pen size. You can do it, you just might have to try it. A drill center, which is perfectly centered. To try to expose that cholla. Let's see here. Looks pretty good. I wish it went all the way around, but I can't really go any further. But you can see underneath there, just barely, the cholla. So I'm gonna switch to the other piece. This is the cap. I'm gonna switch to the body. All right, now the body has two sides, a thicker and a thinner. This doesn't look a whole lot different, so I'm gonna go the thicker up here and the thinner right here. And I like to put it thick to thin on the lathe. See the wood chips. Problem with this one. Let's see how it looks. So unfortunately I had to turn a lot of cholla off just to get down to size, but it looks like we got cholla all the way around, just obviously a little thinner there where we were getting through it. But this should look pretty good. Let's do a sand and a CA on this and shine it up. All right. So I'm going to try to clear this off a little bit. There's a lot of pink here. It's going to be a little dusty, but it'll be all right. So I'm going to take this out of the bushings because I like to do the sanding and CA between centers, or with finished bushings if you have them available. So we'll get that right there. All right, I'm gonna put some water under here. I'm gonna need some sandpaper. I'm gonna use some 600 and then I'm gonna put CA on it. So we're just gonna do a quick hand sand here. Just see if I have any tool marks I need to get out. Make sure the resin looks good. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do a CA. I know what I'll do. I'm actually not going to do a CA. I'm going to do something better, maybe. Okay. So we'll get all the dust off. All right, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little sanding sealer to seal up the wood. See if my theory is good here. So I'm going to do sanding sealer, then I'm going to do Yorkshire microfine to polish the CA and, not the CA, polish the resin and the wood. Well, if I can get my jar open here. My cap is stuck. Okay, that's one way to do it. All right, so I'm just going to put basically a dot of sanding sealer and coat it. Makes it look pretty nice. Makes it look better all on its own. And I just want to make sure I soak up that cholla with it. And then we'll let it spin softly for just a minute. And then I'm going to use microfine Yorkshire grit to sand it. So this isn't finished. This is sandpaper essentially. See if it's, yeah, it feels good and dry. Oh yeah. So we'll see how shiny we can get this sucker. Oh yeah, that looks good. I'm just going to try to get all the Yorkshire off of it, on the ends especially, because it likes to hide in there. Turn it on here. So I want to get all that Yorkshire off before I put on a finish. I'm going to do this is Milescraft friction. I'm going to do one little drop. I'm going to slowly work that across the whole piece. Just kind of moving that puddle across. And if you run out, if it's not wet by the time you get to the other side, you can do one more, but do a small little drop. Whoop. Drop the paper, get a new one. You just want to build up a little heat with the Milans. Oh yeah, that looks good. There's not any that I can see. I don't have any tool marks or anything in there, which is good because I didn't really sand or polish the resin, but that microfine Yorkshire was enough to make it look really good. So I'm going to carefully take this off and switch to the other piece. And I am going to assemble this in a minute if you want to see the assembly. All right. Back to the cap. What was that here? Oh, I had some CA crust inside. Okay. So I'm going to do a little light hand sanding just to make sure everything looks smooth and flat. This is 600, so it's pretty fine. Not fine for resin, but fine for wood. Okay, then wipe it really good. I don't have my compressor out here, so I have to use air from my face and the towel. All right, now sanding sealer again. Just put one dot on your paper towel. Wipe it on here. Make sure you cover the whole ends. We just want to kind of let that soak in a minute. Doesn't really do anything to the resin, but it seals up the wood nicely. So I'm going to let that spin. Feels good and dry, so we're going to do the same thing, the Yorkshire microfine. And it might be hard to see, but I got just a little bit on there. You can see the white on there. I'm just going to slowly speed it up as I go here. As I go, it breaks down that grit that they have in there. Clean out the ends. Oh, get that off of there. So you don't want any of that left on your piece when you're putting on your finish. It'll definitely not be good. So I'm trying to get it from the ends. Okay, get it all off there. And then you just want to kind of spot check, make sure there's no grit left. Looks pretty good. And now we can do our friction finish again. One drop, nice and slow, and just work it across. Same as before, if you run out, just put one more drop. But you just want less is more for sure. Just building a little heat with my finger. And I'll just kind of check, make sure there's no streaks or scratches. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to let this one spin for a minute while I go assemble the other. So I'm going to assemble the pen now. So this is the bottom. I'm going to use my Milescraft pen press here. You can find this pen press on turnerswarehouse.com. That's my store. All right, so let me get all the parts out here real quick. These are all bagged so they don't get scratched. and then I throw them on the table and scratch them, but not really. Okay, so we're doing the body first. So we're going to pick this up and determine the narrower end, which is the bottom. You can always slide the coupler up to make sure you got the right one. So there's the narrower end. That's for the end here. We're going to load it into the press. And the key is making sure everything starts out straight. So if you're new to this, do one at a time, because like I did, you'll probably get it crooked. There we go. But once one end starts to go in, it's pretty easy, and you can kind of straighten up your other end, and then it's nice and snug. Now, what's cool is you want to thread your cap on, and then grab your cap piece. Now, since the cap isn't fully Cholla, I want to make sure that the best part of the cap is with the best part of the body. So by putting my cap threads on there first, I can push this on and then unthread it. I'm going to put my clip down the bare spot here. Set that on nice and firm. Then we take our ink. That's the one right there. Let's put this under here. A lot of pink, a lot of stainless steel, a little bit of brass.